everybody. I just want to take a moment here to thank Instagram and Zyre Golf for finding this wonderful golf swing because, in my eyes, from everything that I've researched and learned over the past decade or so with golf science and how that's evolving, this gentleman here has quite arguably one of the most scientifically sound golf swings to date. And it's just wonderful that we have the ability to be able to see this. So you'll notice he just starts with this little hitch there, and that hitch, I mean, that right there is just presetting the lead elbow there. Very much rotating the elbow to make it not go left. It's just a wonderful preset move, and he's you know coming in, and what most people will notice here right off the bat is this hockey grip that he's got set up here with the left hand facing the camera, the right hand facing the camera, the palm facing the camera. And a couple of things to note here. One is that pressure point number 3 on the right index finger of the trail hand is fully loaded. And you'll notice that he's got full pronation in the lead hand, highlighting the fact that power accumulator 3 is fully loaded. So he's got 3 preset loaded, faces pointing at the camera in the caddy view. It's Mo Norman-esque, except for the fact that Mo would start the club head a couple of feet behind the ball because he preloaded 4, power accumulator 4. And this gentleman's just doing it with power accumulator 3, just maxing it all out before P1, really. P0, I would say, all the steps leading up to it. You'll notice his trail foot is internally rotated. His left foot is pretty much at right angles, relatively neutral. No foot flare to speak of. And as he kind of gets into the shot, there's a little presetting, a little waggle there he does. Probably took that from Mike Weir. And there's that little check there. Beautiful. The trigger finger of the trail kind of comes off there a little bit. Another quick pump there for you. And I apologize for the camera work, but I'm just grateful we were able to capture this scientifically beautiful thing. And right there, guys, gals, that's everything. That's the trigger. That's the trigger that he's pushing into the ground as hard as he can to get the momentum to rock back. So, that's what that's the distance gainer. All the ground forces are being pre-prepped there in the trigger before the club's even taken away. So here we go, P1 to P2, and they might, he probably will get called out for being a stack and tilter for that shoulder going down. However, his thorax is also pointing down, where stack and tilt would definitely have you extending the spine, getting more neutral. But there's no time to talk those theories right now. But another thing I want to highlight is that this is probably the most inward P2 I've ever seen for a shaft. So you've got that going for him very nicely. So from 2 to 3, there's a palmar flexing of this lead wrist there. You can kind of see that grip there is really interesting, needless to say. So he's palmar flexing, max palmar flex of the lead wrist. And another thing he does from P2 to 3, he starts extending his spine. So that squat that he had, he just extends it in order to really get the butt end of the club raised and far away from the target. Now, another thing that we notice here from 2 to 3 is that maximum trail shoulder retraction, really loading that as a power source, while he's fully internally rotated with his trail shoulder, applying the most force across the shaft of that trail hand. So that's not going to say good, but I'm just going to say that's very scientific application of the hand. And because the hands are so far apart, which we this hockey grip style move, that's going to influence the swing to get the maximal couple. And I know Sasha's really going to love this, because now he can just fully, apply the forces of the trail hand across the shaft while the left hand is pulling inward. So there's a bunch of scientists who would love that. And now here's the magic move. You can see now the rotation, or that internal rotation combined with the ulnar deviation of the left wrist, really shallows out the shaft beautifully from P4 to 5. Right there we go. I'll zoom out a little bit. And now the center of mass and the center of pressure being, still being in forward flexion. Yeah, man, he's got this left wrist fully pronated. I mean, he's just ready to apply the forces while he rotations to shallow out the shaft. And if you look at his lead foot, that's the power spike right there. He's got all that power on his trail leg. If we had force plates under him, somebody, get him on a gas plate here, because I want to see how much data we can collect with this lead foot spiking back and up. I mean, I know there's a couple of the tour pros who are working on this move to really get that ground force reaction to go in the opposite direction of the force. That's really the key here. And this gentleman, he's got the Santa beard. He's ready to rock. And as he does that, he's just bracing that trail knee, keeping it flexed. That. And now you can see the force couple fully in motion as that left wrist just gets into maximal dorsiflexion, so he can now roll over that right hand and have the narrowest arc. By the time we get this close to P8, you can definitely see the angle here created with the left wrist there, applying maximal forces and torques to the shaft, across the shaft. I mean, you can't teach this. Then a step out move, so he can finish opening up, and then now he's facing the target. He's got open. Nobody gets more open than this guy. He's actually got both feet now, pointing at the flag, and then at the wire tower there, the electricity tower behind him. And his P10 pretty stock on. He's nice and fully balanced. The old school pros would love that. Being able to swing to a balanced finish. I mean, gentlemen, ladies, this is the future of golf science here. He's nailing every single thing. Kwon, Sasho, Duffy. I think the guys at the PhDs should, all jokes aside, get this guy's data calibrated, because I firmly believe everything that's been studied in golf science, biomechanics, are holding true with this gentleman here. So I'd love to get him on Gears if we can get him, because we can capture moving feet. Cheers.